Hey there, Adam from Buzzy here. I'm going to give you a quick demonstration of how to unleash your inner geek. So whether you work for a company or you're a consultant or whatever it is, and show you how you can use Buzzy to create an instant business app that's available on the cloud and you can start using today. So first thing is that we've got a bunch of, I'm just going to click on new up the top right here. We've got a bunch of templates that are available, and the list goes on over here for all sorts of different things that will get you started really quickly. But for this demo, I actually wanted to start with a new blank buzz, so I click that and we're going to start from scratch. For the demo, I'm going to create a field report. So in the context of, imagine you wanted to communicate with a bunch of, whether they're salespeople or technicians, or even in an emergency situation, let's say lifesavers or whatever, to be able to get field information back and report that in a structured manner. So we'll just customize that. We can come in and we can customize the way this looks for things like you can turn the images on, off. I'll just choose a file over here to make this a little bit more pretty. We'll click open over there, we'll click save, and away we go. So there's our field report image. Again, you can format it. I won't customize any of the text over here. We're going to add some content. Now because the demonstration is going to add, we're going to add a blank application. But again, we've got some pre-built applications like event list, to-do list. You can integrate with things like Google Maps and so on. So I'll click application over here, and here's our blank app. So we're going to go into the properties and configure it. So we'll call this field report app. There's a whole lot of settings you can define who can add rows and that in the submit tab over here. We'll just leave those as the default for now. And similarly for the results, you can define who can view it and sort order and all that sort of stuff. And we'll leave that as the default for now. But let's go and add some custom fields. So we've got a set of predefined fields, anything from text and date to images, select lists. So for this demo, we'll use an event field. And we'll just call it location. So this is the location for the field report. The next one we're going to add a custom select list. So we'll add this, and we'll just, and again you can customize these to whatever you want. So we'll give it important. So extremely, I can't spell, very, and let's say not very important. Now for every one of these fields you can define who can interact with them. So at the moment for this demo we'll just make it all participants. But again you can restrict certain fields to only being accessible by a subset of users of the buzz, like the owners and authors. And you can also determine which things are going to be visible on the first screen and so on. So let's add one more field in here. We'll add a set of photos so we can get some photos of what's happening in the field. So we've got an images, and we'll just put, we'll call this pics, and we'll come back up here. We also want to see who submitted the report, which is, let's say, we'll just call them the field agent. And again, you can customize these. And we'll, again, just for those pictures, we'll allow anybody to be able to add them. And then the last thing we'll add over here is the submitted date. So there we go, submitted date. That's a predefined field. I'll just call it date submitted. Okay, so that's pretty much it. The application's created now. Obviously, we can customize things like the buttons and what they're called and all that sort of stuff. But if I click Add New now, so let's just say this was Visit Store X as an example. It defaults to the date and time. I can do things like change the location. I can select the importance, and again, that's just a custom field. We can come in here, we can add photos. If you're using this on your phone via the app, we've got an Android and an iOS app, or you can use it through the phone browser. It hooks into things like your phone's photos. You can take a photo. It also connects to things like Instagram and Facebook and so on. So I'll just upload a couple of photos as part of the demonstration, and then I'll submit that. So there it is. There's our store report. We've got the place. We can add things to the calendar if we wanted to. We can change the importance, and then we've got these pictures which open as a gallery. And it was really that easy to be able to create that application. Let me just move that down over here to close that. There we go. Now, one of the things we can do is we can go and customize this further. So in the results tabs, one of the things, because we've got a location on here, is we can actually add a map. So, and that will then map the location of those report entries. Now, as part of this demonstration, I'm going to add another user over here. So I've got another user called Bob Blogs, and at the moment I'm the only user. So once I add this and publish this draft, that user will be notified, say, hey, you know what, Adam's added you to a Buzz, and he'll get a notification, he or she will get a notification, and over here we'll see that same field report. Now, if if Bob goes and adds an item in here, and it says, okay, right, visit store X Sydney. And again, what we'll do is this will default to your location on the phone. You can always change it, and I'll just type in an address over here. So I'll just type Sydney. I'll zoom out over here, and we can just change the location of that. So just to illustrate the point. Now, when I add, obviously I can add photos like we did before, but I'll just submit that. And now we'll see that the map is automatically changed over here, and it has those 2 store reports on it. So that's just a pretty cool little feature. And again, that would have automatically updated. So you can start to see on a map where all these store reports are coming in this example, or they might be accident reports, or they might be other technician reports, and so on. So that's pretty much it. Obviously, all the standard Buzzy features apply. So we've got things like comments and hi there, how was your day? That will go through to Bob. If we have a look back at Bob, Bob will get a notification on his phone, say, hey, there's an image, so we've got inbuilt messaging as part of the application. So it's really, really flexible. If you flick back to the Buzz tab, and again, you can add other content to this, things like Google Documents, attachments, and so on. So that was really just a very quick example of how you can build this custom app. You need to be technically minded to think about what data you want to capture, and you can add workflow in there as well. We didn't talk about that, but you can notify people when certain things are done, which is pretty cool. So you can build these business apps really, really quickly. We'd love to hear what you do with Buzzy. Don't hesitate to reach out. Have fun out there, and hopefully we'll hear from you soon. Thanks a lot for watching.